Warning: this material contains content suitable only for those 18 years of age or older. It is crucial to understand that every chapter in this narrative is a product of imagination and holds no basis in reality. It's common sense for Jenny to fall in love with me more and more whenever we kiss. Dean heard the ding signaling success and opened his status to check on his points. Manipulation points, 402. Really? Only 317 points? Dean exclaimed, surprised at the price. He added the condition of a kiss to lower the cost, but he didn't expect it to be so cheap. Now that I think about it, I have spent a lot of time with her and even had her blow me. It makes sense it wouldn't cost too much to manipulate feelings of love into her mind, he surmised. So, with that, I've made her love me, and previously I made her lust for me with a kiss. I just need something to tie it all together. Using one of his previous ideas, Dean manipulated her some more. It's only normal for Jenny to have sex with me when I knock on her door at night, but only if I ask. Putting his hands together and pleading, his worries vanished when he heard the ding once more. Yes, he shouted out in relief. Checking his status, he found it cost 202 manipulation points, bringing his new total to 200. Well done, dumbass. Now all you have to do is have sex with her. Lisa spoke, finally complimenting something Dean did. That's right, but I'm a virgin, so I don't know if I'll be any good, Dean thought. His only experience was thousands of hours watching porn. Don't worry, she is too. Plus, you have manipulated her to not feel uncomfortable around you, so you'd have to mess up pretty badly for her to think you suck at sex. Lisa spoke. Wait, how do you know she's a virgin? With the way she sucked me off, I assumed she was experienced in some way, Dean questioned, quite confused at how a virgin can be so good at blowjobs. It's one of my many abilities. I can tell how many people someone has had sex with. Jenny hasn't had sex with anyone, making her a virgin just like you. Dumbass, Lisa said nonchalantly. But still, how can someone as gorgeous as her be a virgin? Her tits are massive and her hair, eyes, and face are perfect. I don't get it, Dean said with disbelief evident on his face. He couldn't understand why someone as gorgeous as Jenny, who could get with anyone she wanted, would still be a virgin. Just because someone is pretty doesn't mean they will let anyone sleep with them. Unlike you, she isn't a virgin involuntarily, she just has high standards. Lisa enlightened. Hey, I have standards. Well, only some. After that interesting conversation with Lisa, Dean waited in his room for the night to fall, before enacting Operation Virginity Loss. At around 10 p.m., Dean left his room, practically skipping down the halls of the complex to Jenny's apartment. I'm about to have sex, he thought excitedly while arriving in front of Jenny's door. With an enthusiastic knock, he heard footsteps nearing the door before it opened. A very tired-looking Jenny appeared in the doorway, still wearing her pink pajamas. Her hair was all messy and she wasn't wearing any makeup. This didn't make Dean feel any less attracted to her, however, in fact, it only turned him on even more. Ah, Dean, what are you doing here at this hour? She said hoarsely, still groggy from being woken up. But even through her exhaustion, she leaned in to kiss Dean. With a short but sweet kiss, she pulled away and waited for Dean's answer. Calming himself, Dean spoke with eagerness. Well, I just wanted to ask for sex. It's only normal, right? Lisa stifled a laugh at Dean's words. Her eyes became a little clearer. The silver-haired beauty looked up at Dean with understanding. Ah, yes. I suppose it is only normal for us to have sex right now since you asked. Come on in. We can do it on my bed, she said, gesturing for Dean to enter. Dean happily obliged, walking with Jenny into her room. When they got there, Jenny shut the door and turned to face Dean. Without saying a word, she took her top off, exposing her large, pale breasts. With a gulp, Dean shook his head, clearing any thoughts of hesitation, and moved over to her. Don't overthink it, it's just sex. He put his hand around her waist and pulled her close, before planting a deep kiss on her lips. They smacked together with a wet slop sound, as the two of them intertwined tongues. My body. It's so hot, Jenny thought while kissing Dean. Noticing her get all hot and bothered, Dean slid his hand downward, grabbing her ass with force, pressing her against his body, her tits smooshed against his body, letting him bask in their fluff. Jenny let out a smothered moan as she made out with Dean. She also felt something hard pressing against her stomach. So far, so good, Dean commented to himself while reluctantly separating from Jenny's lips. Get on the bed, he said, causing Jenny to cutely lie down on it. He then took off his clothes, exposing his flabby body. I've got to work on this, he thought before climbing on top of the big-breasted beauty laying in wait. Now above her, Dean gazed into her light purple eyes, getting lost in their splendor. He then eagerly moved his right hand up to her supple breasts and grasped them. Jenny bit her lip in anticipation, causing Dean to lock lips with her once again. With each passing second, Jenny felt her body heat up until it was unbearable. She needed him. Breaking away from Dean's constant facial assault, she said seductively, I need you inside me. Dean felt his heart skip a beat before he suddenly burst into action. He practically tore Jenny's pajama bottoms off and yanked her panties down. This exposed the luscious flower between her legs, and to say it was wet would be an understatement. Every time you kiss me, I get like this, Jenny whispered into Dean's ear. I'm sorry about that. Let me take care of it for you, Dean said while moving his cock towards her pussy. Dean made sure to look down while doing this, guiding it into the correct hole. It would be embarrassing if I didn't even stick it in the right one. As his tip touched the entrance to Jenny's vagina, she let out a quiet moan and said, I am a virgin, so take it easy, please. Dean only smiled in response before carefully inserting his thing. It's like she's sucking me in, Dean's thought, feeling the warm embrace of Jenny's vaginal walls. When he was fully inside her, Jenny spoke up. You can go faster now. Upon hearing her words, Dean's expression turned lustful as he began to rapidly penetrate her. While he was doing this, Jenny was moaning louder and louder. Squelching sounds could be heard as their bodies smashed together. Dean then leaned over while still fucking her, and began deeply kissing her lips. This is too good, Jenny thought whilst Dean kissed her. Muffled sounds could be heard from Jenny, but she only closed her eyes and basked in the sweet bliss of Dean's kisses. While he was kissing her, Dean felt Jenny's pussy tighten up, signaling just how arousing his lips were. I don't think I can hold it in much longer, Dean thought to himself. Jenny's insides just felt too good, constantly constricting and contracting on his penis, trying to extract his cum. Don't come inside her, Lisa advised briefly. However, before he could come, Dean felt Jenny tense up and break away from his lips. I'm coming, she moaned out while shaking. Seeing this, Dean felt himself about to orgasm as well and quickly pulled out before he impregnated her. Yeah, he grunted out, launching thick ropes of cum all over Jenny's pale, naked body. The sticky cum coated her body, leaving quite the erotic image. Fuck, I could get addicted to this, Dean thought after his orgasm calmed down. I hope so, because this is only the beginning, Lisa said. Dean then collapsed on the bed beside Jenny, who was still suffering the after effects of an extreme orgasm. I didn't think I would be this good at sex, he thought while breathing heavily. Who knew sex could be such an intense workout? You aren't that good. The main reason she came so hard was because you kept kissing her. If your kisses didn't cause pleasure, you probably wouldn't be able to make her come at all, Lisa stated. You really know how to rain on my parade, you know that? Responded Dean, annoyed that Lisa couldn't just be happy for him. However, before they could continue their conversation, a pink and blue transparent screen suddenly appeared above him. Task complete first time. Have sex for the first time in your life. 450 points have been added to your status. Task complete, deflower 1/. Take someone's virginity for the first time. 400 points have been added to your status. Task complete missionary. Have missionary sex for the first time. 150 points have been added to your status. Task complete, cum covered. Come on a person's body. 250 points have been added to your status. Quest complete. Lose your virginity by the end of the week. 1,000 manipulation points have been added to your status. Holy mother of... Dean thought upon seeing all the system notifications. He was... rich? But before he could think about his newfound riches any further, Jenny got up and said, I need to clean up. You are welcome to stay the night if you want. Stay the night? Wait, don't tell me. Yes, Dean, she is now in love with you. After kissing her as much as you did, I'm sure she'll agree to be your girlfriend if you ask. Lisa noted. Upon realizing this, Dean thought about the prospect of having a girlfriend before replying to Jenny. Having someone to spend his time with and share experiences would be nice, not to mention the sex. Sure. I'll get cleaned up in a minute, he said while Jenny left to go to the bathroom. After Jenny got cleaned up and dressed, Dean went to take a piss before coming back to their bed. Didn't want to get a UTI now. Jenny was already tucked snugly under the covers when he returned, but when she saw Dean, she made room for him by scooting over. Dean then slid into the space she provided and laid on his back. When he lay there, Jenny moved over and placed her head on his chest, before quickly drifting into unconsciousness. This is the greatest day of my life, Dean thought with appreciation for the ability. Just a few days ago, he was a virgin loser on the verge of ending his life. But now, he was sleeping with a 10/10ths girl after having just fucked her. It will only get better from here, Lisa commented. However, Dean didn't hear this, as he was already fast asleep. In the morning, Dean awoke and stretched before tiredly rubbing his eyes. Looking around, he spotted Jenny standing by her dresser. My God, Dean when he saw what she was doing. Jenny was currently stark naked and choosing what pair of panties to wear from her selection. Grabbing a black pair and a pink pair, she held them up for Dean to see and asked, "Which do you like better?" Stunned she would ask for his opinion, Dean stuttered out, I like the pink better." Smiling, Jenny responded before putting them on. "Me too." She then slid them up her slender legs, causing Dean to have impure thoughts. After putting on her undergarments, Jenny spoke to Dean. "I have to get ready for work, so I'm sorry, but I can't stay and sleep with you forever." Taking the hint, Dean replied, "I get it. I'll get going now. Thank you for taking up my request last night." "No problem. It's only normal to have sex with you at night if you knock on my door," Jenny said. Stifling a laugh, Dean quickly said goodbyes and left her apartment, heading for his own. When he left, another screen appeared in his vision. Task complete, Cuddlebug. Spend the night cuddling with someone. 100 points have been added to your status. What the hell am I going to do with all these points? Dean thought, exasperated. Arriving back at his apartment, Dean sat on his bed and opened up his status, eager to see its many changes. Dean Fool, age 24, manipulation points 2550, quests completed 1, money $214, minds altered 2, 2550. What the fu... Dean exclaimed upon seeing all his manipulation points. What do we even do with all this? Well, I would recommend using it in some way to make money. You are going to be homeless soon if you don't get a job. Yeah, but what about having more sex? I think I can be homeless for a time if it meant I could experience something so good more often, Dean said. He would gladly sacrifice his apartment if it meant feeling that same pleasure again. Fool, Lisa said before another window appeared in Dean's vision. Quest initiated. Riches 1/, earn $10,000 in 1 month. Upon completion, receive 1,000 manipulation points. Upon failure, lose access to the common sense manipulation system. Lisa, did you do this? Dean asked frantically as he read the contents of the screen. Yes, the ability is to better your life in every way. Its use isn't only limited to having sex, fool, Lisa stated, tired of Dean's lust. We'll see about that, Dean said as he changed clothes. Walking out into the front lobby, Dean looked for a familiar person. She should be about to start her workout now, Dean thought, searching for Mia. He spotted the fit blonde standing near the clerical desk, chatting with Jenny walking up to them. Jenny put on a huge smile upon seeing him. "Hello again, Dean," she said as she stood up to greet him. Their kiss was brief, not wanting to make Mia uncomfortable. "He's going to make me horny again," Jenny thought as she sat down and crossed her legs. Mia, noticing their kiss, had something to say. "Are you two dating?" She couldn't believe someone as hot as Jenny would date this loser. "No." "Yes," Dean said, but then Jenny spoke. Looking at her inquisitively, confused at why she said they were dating, reiterated. "It's complicated." "Oh, okay. Well, I'm off to work out. Have a good day, you two," Mia said, turning to leave. But before she could walk too far, she felt a pull on her shoulder and turned to see who stopped her. An ugly expression crossed her face as she spotted who touched her. "Sorry," Dean said, scared of her expression. "I was just wondering if I could join you during your workout." Mia's expression suddenly lit up as she replied, "Oh, of course. I'd love to have a competent instructor help me out, but I'm going to the gym today and you'd have to become an instructor to enter." "Don't worry about it. I've been looking for a gym lately anyway. Let's go." Dean bullshitted. "I've never worked out a day in my life." "And it shows. Fool," Lisa insulted. Ignoring her comment, Dean said goodbye to Jenny before walking out of the complex with Mia. Jenny had a sad expression on her face as she watched them leave. "I thought sex meant we were together." Now outside the complex, Mia and Dean walked down the streets in the direction of the gym. On the way there, Mia talked Dean's ear off about how her gym worked. "It's actually a women's-only gym," she stated, prompting Dean to ask, "What? Those are a thing?" "Yes. Many women don't feel comfortable working out around men. Some have even been verbally or sexually harassed in gyms, so a couple of like-minded ladies banded together and made one only for women. The only men allowed to enter are registered and certified instructors, but even then, all of the men who have worked there have been fired." Surprised at this information, Dean inquired, "Why did they get fired?" Her expression turning into an angry scowl, Mia spoke. "Well, they all took advantage of their role to prey on women, making them do provocative positions during workouts for no reason, or touching their body inappropriately in the name of inspecting their health. Absolutely disgusting," she spat out. A bead of sweat rolled down Dean's forehead as he heard her speak. "Yeah, absolutely disgusting is right. What kind of sick man would do something like that?" "You are such a dumbass," Lisa said with a deep sigh. "I know, right? But thankfully I found you. When you instructed me last time, I was surprised that you didn't even try anything funny. You have no idea how excited the girls are going to be now that we finally have an instructor who isn't a creep," Mia said giddily. "What have I gotten myself into?" Dean thought as they approached the gym. The building was large and well-maintained, sporting tall glass windows in the front that were veiled by curtains. Hanging from the roof of the building was a sign that read, "M&C's Gym for Women." "I wonder who M&C are," Dean thought as they walked through the front door. Upon entering, Dean found himself in a reception room. A large, curved desk sat in the center. A young woman was leaning on the desk, speaking loudly into her phone. Mia walked up to the girl, followed by Dean, who just quietly looked around. "Hey, Olivia," she said, pulling the girl's attention away from her phone. "Oh, hi Mia, how is you Olivia paused as she laid eyes on the flabby young man situated next to Mia. "Why did you bring a man here? You know they aren't allowed to have a membership," she asked, concerned about Mia's lapse in judgment. "I'm aware of our policies, but he's not here to join as a member but as an instructor," Mia replied matter-of-factly. Raising an eyebrow, Olivia looked back at Dean and said, "Chubby over here? An instructor? Have you lost your mind, Mia?" Dean, getting a little peeved at all the comments on his body, thought, "Let's see what you can say now, bitch." Thinking deeply, he used the ability manipulate people's perceptions. "Upon checking my ID, it's only normal for anyone to recognize me as an extremely reputable yoga instructor. he thought, and heard the ding of success. Giving a confident smirk, Dean walked up to the desk while Mia and Olivia were still arguing. "I'm telling you, he helped me with cool-down stretches and was amazing," Mia said, recalling their cool-down stretches together. "Yeah, they all start out that way and the—" Olivia paused as she saw Dean toss an ID card at her. "What's this?" she said as she picked up the card with curiosity. She inspected it. Her eyes suddenly became wide in realization, before she apologized to Dean. "I'm so sorry for the misunderstanding, instructor. I hope you can understand that I'm just one individual and do not represent the whole of this establishment. We would be more than happy to have you work as an instructor here." Olivia spoke while bowing in an apologetic manner. Giving a triumphant grin and putting on an air of confidence, Dean replied, "Oh, no worries. I'm aware of the image my body conveys. But let this be a lesson to never judge a book by its cover." Her eyes twitching a bit, Olivia stood up straight again and said, "Indeed, I will try not to. But instructor, I must go get one of the owners if you want to work here. Only with their approval can you hold sessions and receive payment." Nodding, Dean said, "I thought as such. If you don't mind, I'd like to ask you to please fetch them for me." "Absolutely," Olivia said, quickly rushing off in a particular direction. "Not bad, dumbass, but that change was quite expensive. You might want to check your points before you attempt anything else," Lisa advised. Frowning, Dean looked at his status, only to almost shout in alarm. "Manipulation points, 1250. "What? That costs 1,300 points? Oh, why?" he thought with disbelief. "Because it was a broad change. You made it so that anyone who looks at your ID has their common sense manipulated. Thankfully, you added the condition of ID, and also just had them think of you as a fitness instructor. I have to say, even though it was expensive, it was a smart use of points. Good job, dumbass," Lisa complimented. "Still, I thought I'd never use so much of them on a single change," Dean thought with a sad expression. Noticing his expression, Mia misunderstood and spoke up. "I'm sorry you have to deal with this, instructor. It's just that the women here have all had bad experiences with men in the past and end up treating all of them badly. But I promise once you show your skills, they will warm up quickly." "I understand. Thanks, Mia," Dean said before spotting Olivia walking back with someone else in tow. Walking next to her was a tall, mature woman. Dean thought she was perhaps in her 40s. She wore leggings and a sports bra, leaving toned abs in view for all to see and admire. She had long brown hair and glasses and exuded an aura of authority. But best of all was her massive breasts, surprisingly even larger than Jenny's. "A MILF!" Dean exclaimed in his mind. He held a preference for young women like Jenny, but couldn't deny the appeal of an older woman. The MILF walked up and stood in front of Dean with a smug expression on her face. "I'm sure you have some credentials if you are what you say you are, a young man." The woman spoke rudely. Grabbing his ID, Dean handed it over and stammered out, Yes, of course." Inspecting the card, the tall woman's expression remained indifferent before she handed it back and spoke. "It seems you have at least some credibility, but that won't be enough," said the MILF. His expression turning sour, Dean asked, "Whoa, what else do I need?" Her eyes looked him up and down. The tall woman then spoke. "I need to see proof of your skills. Follow me into the private session room. My decision to employ you will be based on your ability to impress me." As she finished speaking, she turned and walked towards the back of the building, causing Dean to follow. "Shit, I don't know any actual techniques. What am I gonna do?" Dean worried. His ID only made people perceive him as an instructor, not actually give him the skills of one. Perhaps he could fool an inexperienced person with his skills, but not someone as experienced as an owner of a gym. "Think, Dean, think. What can I change to help my situation?" He pondered. Suddenly thinking of an idea, Dean spoke in his head. "Whenever I snap my fingers, it's normal for anyone in the same room as me to trust my physical fitness judgment and anything I do relating to physical fitness completely." Ding. Yes, it worked, Dean thought with surprise. He had no doubt it cost him a pretty penny but felt it was worth it. Checking his status, he confirmed his suspicions. Manipulation points, 50. Damn, I knew it would be expensive, but for it to leave me like this, well, at least this will help me get a job. He considered. I hope so, Lisa said. After using up his points, Dean and the MILF arrived at a room in the back and entered. What lay behind the door was a large open room. Different colored mats were positioned evenly across the floor, and one mat stood at the front of all of them. This is our yoga room. If you are hired, it's where you will be holding sessions. Now, let's get down to business, she said while looking at Dean with an evaluating gaze. I want you to instruct me like you would for a class full of clients. Just think of me like I am brand new to yoga and go from there. I am hiring you as a yoga instructor after all, the mature brunette said. Dean nodded upon hearing her words and thought to himself, yoga instructor Dean doesn't really have a nice ring to it, but whatever. Dean snapped his fingers and said, all right, today I'll be starting you with my beginner course. This includes a set of various stretches followed by instructor-guided positions. Let's begin. After Dean snapped his fingers, the MILF's eyes turned from a look of evaluation to a look of trust as the CSMS worked its magic. Now reach down and touch your toes. Dean spoke. It was the most basic stretch he could think of. Doing as instructed, the tall woman touched her toes, and Dean moved closer to inspect. Very good, he said, staring at the woman's bum. Now lay down and tuck one of your knees into your chest. With a small smile, the MILF did as she was told. He seems to know his stuff. I think I can already hire him, but I still want to see what he meant by instructor-guided positions. When she was done with all her stretches, Dean spoke with as serious of a tone as he could possibly have. For our next set, I'm going to be guiding your body physically with my hands. Unfortunately, it is very difficult to position you correctly with your sports bra on, as it obstructs the natural sitting of your breasts, so I'd like to ask you to please remove it. Without batting an eye, the woman took her sports bra off, exposing her massive tits. That makes sense. He has much more insight than I thought possible for his age. Perhaps we can finally fill up the yoga classes with this. Laying eyes on her boobs, Dean almost started foaming at the mouth. They only sagged a little bit, much to the contrary of their size. Dark pink nipples sat center of her breasts, making Dean want to suckle upon them. I need to see a therapist for my mommy issues, Dean thought before instructing the MILF to stand up. With her stood up, Dean spoke. Okay now, I need you to raise your arms out to the sides. I'm going to position your muscles to perfectly suit this pose. When her arms were raised, Dean came up behind her and grabbed her tits. Oop! The woman let out a slightly startled sound. These feel great, Dean thought as he massaged her chest from behind. He squeezed and pulled, making the tall woman release funny sounds. My muscles must have been in the wrong position. Even after all these years, I still have much to learn, the mature woman thought. After a minute of fondling her breasts, Dean was satisfied and let go. Very good. Now get down on your hands and knees. I'm going to position your buttocks muscles now. Dean spoke. It's called the gluteus maximus. Instructor dumbass, Lisa corrected. Shut up, know-it-all, Dean thought while crouching down behind the woman. Is this good? The braless woman said whilst on the mat. That's good. Now rest your head in your hands and stick out your butt. I'm going to position its muscles now, Dean said while suppressing a chuckle. With her ass stuck out, Dean moved close to it and grasped it, filling up his hands with its firm flesh. This is nice, but I want to try something, he thought while raising his right hand. Asterisk, smack, asterisk. The woman suddenly looked back at Dean with eyes of hate as he slapped her ass. Why'd you do that? Not expecting such a reaction, Dean thought quickly before spouting, there was a large knot that was hard to get out. I had to use some extra force. Her expression softening, the woman said, Oh, of course. My apologies, it just startled me. After feeling up her ass a bit more, the woman spoke. I think I've seen enough, she said as she stood up and put her bra back on. With this, I'm confident in your skills and am willing to hire you as our yoga instructor. Please come with me back to my office to go over the details. Oh, and one last thing. My name is Jessica. Frowning as he was just about to do something more sexual, Dean replied, "Thank you, Jessica. Please lead the way." On his way to Jessica's office, a pink and blue screen appeared in his vision. Task complete from the back. Fondle a woman's breasts from behind. 150 manipulation points have been added to your status. Task complete. Smack. Smack a person's ass. 100 manipulation points have been added to your status. Wow, I didn't think I'd get 2 more achievements from just that. Although I guess there are 1,000 of them, Dean thought as he walked into Jessica's office. Sitting behind her desk and crossing her legs, the MILF spoke. "So, working for us, your salary will start at $2,000 a month. Also, your work will be directly dependent on your own schedule. However, you must work a minimum of 10 hours a week, Monday through Friday." "Only $2,000? Dean asked with surprise. He didn't think certified instructors got paid so little. "Don't be alarmed, that is just base pay. Each client you receive will pay you $100 per session they attend. So let's say you have 5 clients per weekday attend your yoga session. That's $2,500 a week," she stated. $2,500 a week? That would let me complete the quest. All I have to do is acquire clients somehow, Dean thought. You better think of something dumbass. As of right now, the only one who would attend your session would be Mia. Getting creative, Dean thought with an evil grin. I think I have something in mind.